Tarik LaCour from Hook'emHeadlines.com. We are coming back at y'all today with another look ahead to fall camp. Later today, we're recording this July 21st. I'll have a video coming up on taking like a very high level look at all the newcomers from the 2023 class from the high school ranks, also from the transfer class. Today, Tarik and I are going to be discussing, position battles to watch for fall camp, kind of giving an early preview for that. Almost 2 weeks now, we will start fall camp, August 2nd. I think most of the position battles are going to come along the offensive line and then defensive side of the ball, or I guess that's probably all the position battles. I think you can specifically pinpoint interior offensive line, edge, at least opposite Barron Sorrell, will linebacker, and then field corner. So I'll just start here because I think we can cut straight to the chase, get to the interior offensive line. I think because there's multiple positions that are up in the air right now. I think that there's the possibility that Jake Majors is pushed for the starting job at center. Looks like Cole Hudson's been taking some reps there late this summer. And then also, right guard, especially if Cole Hudson's moved over, then you have DJ Campbell. And potentially, I don't know if they're still looking to keep Cam Williams on the inside. I think ultimately they're going to try to push him back out to offensive tackle, but I think he could still figure in there right now while you still have Christian Jones and Kelvin Banks still on campus. Then you've also got guys like Malik Agbo, Neto Umeozulu that, if they really blow some people away this fall, at least during fall camp, I think they could figure into the equation eventually. What are your kind of thoughts on the interior offensive line?
Well, it all starts with center. If you have Cole Hudson as the starter, if he's able to beat up Jake Majors, then you automatically will have another starter at guard, and I would assume that would be DJ Campbell. So I think, the fact to me, what makes me lean, I think it's going to be Hudson, is the fact that this is 2 off seasons in a row this has been going on. So if they were really sure and solid about Majors being the guy, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like, we're not having this conversation about Kelvin Banks. We're not having about Christian Jones. And Majors has been starting longer than Banks and about as long as Jones has. So that tells you something there. I do expect Neto and Cam Williams to be in the rotation. I expect Williams to get looks at both the tackle spots. I think he'll be the swing tackle, and then he'll take over at right tackle next year and then left tackle the following year. That's what I think happens there. So that's kind of where I'm at. But it's a good problem to have, having lots of big humans to go around. I mean, if you put Cole Hudson in there, Hudson's like 6'4", 325, something like that?
Yeah, something around that,
He's a big dude. So then you have DJ Campbell next to him. Campbell's obviously very big. And then, obviously, Hayden Connor's also a big dude. Then Kelvin Banks, obviously, is a freak of nature. And then Christian Jones. And then, all of which is funny because, then the biggest guy is not even out there in Cam Williams. But so it's a good problem to have there.
Yeah, I mean, God, I'm skeptical that Jake Majors is actually 315. That's what they have him listed as.
There's no way he's 315.
Yeah,
he's probably about 295.
Yeah. And they have Cole Hudson listed about 6'5", 320, which I could see that.
He would be a very tall center. Yeah,
and I mean, I could see them giving Hudson pretty significant reps, or at least in the non-con, he would be kind of the first, second teamer out there because, you might as well, you're going to transition next year anyway. Jake Majors graduating, so someone else is going to have to be the starting center anyway.
That's true, but I think if they're going to go with Hudson, you're going to see it week 1.
Think week 1? Okay. Yeah,
because you're not going to want to be playing around with that. You got to get him and Quinn on the same page because everyone snaps differently and all that. You have to get him more comfortable in calling out the defense and all the shifts, and obviously Hayden Connor will have a lot to say in that too. But yeah, it's gonna be, this is the guy. It doesn't typically work well to platoon these types of things. It tends to get more it tends to lead to more problems.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
that's my
I'll,
2 cents on that.
yeah, I'll agree with you because I think DJ Campbell will ultimately be the starter at right guard as well. This is the only other question I have for you along the interior offensive line. Do you think the backup is Connor Robertson or Jake Majors if Hudson is the starter center?
Jake Majors.
I think Jake Majors. Okay.
Because, the starting experience and things like that will be very important.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Let's take a look here on the defensive side of the ball. We can start at the jack position. Edge rusher opposite of Baron Sorrell. I mean, I think you're going to have multiple guys involved here. Ethan Burke, I think, is probably the betting favorite to start heading into fall camp, but you also have Justice Finkley. I guess if Jamon Tapp plays well or performs well during fall camp, that he could figure into the equation, but I think his natural spot's more at Buck. And then Colton Vasek, maybe. I'm gonna stick with Ethan Burke. I think that, he put on like 5-10 pounds during summer workouts, so he's moving in the right direction.
Closer to 15, I think.
Yeah, physically, I think he's getting there. He
was like
has a ways to go.
He was like 230 when he came in. I think he's like 255 now.
Yeah, so he's 257, so he's getting there. Yeah, I mean, I just think that some of the strides he showed during
Wait, he was 230. If you said 257?
Now, yeah, that's the post.
Then that's 27 pounds then.
Yeah, so he's getting there. I think that Finkley's going to be heavily used in the rotation. I know you've been pretty heavy on him being more of like a hand in the dirt guy, especially in like clear running downs that short yardage situations, maybe like a 4-eye 5-tech sort of guy. But
yeah, that's just where he fits better. I don't see him as just a stand-up edge.
Yeah, same here. Last thing I'll say on edge, just for my piece, I find it interesting. Colton Vasek ended up putting on like 15 pounds during summer workouts. He's almost up to like 245. I think he came in at like 225. Me and Shane were talking that day.
Ethan Burke could have done the same thing if he had come in as an early enrollee.
Yeah, I think it's going to give Vasek a big leg up, though. He's showing those pass rush chops already. I think he could get on the two.
It's all gonna for Colton Vasek. I just have one question: can he contain? Can he keep? If he can contain, then he'll be great.
Yep, that's fair. I think it's the biggest question mark for him heading into fall camp. So I think
the reason I bring that up is because you're going to have a lot of running quarterbacks in the Big 12 and a lot of runs to the outside that way. If Vasek can't hold his own, he's going to see a lot of runs coming his way just for that reason.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Okay, the one that we could probably spend the most time talking about is Will linebacker. I think that is the biggest question mark. So, good time to talk about it for me because I did 2 pieces in the last couple of days on the site. I'll link them in the description below. But one was talking,
both of which were very well done, by the way.
Thank you. One was talking about Mo Blackwell. So this was a report, I think it was from either IT or OB, but saying essentially that Horns 247, Horns 24/7, that one was, that Mo Blackwell has continued to earn more trust from the coaching staff, which I find interesting because I think that a lot of the conversation you've heard from like Sark and some of the players, Big 12 media days during the spring, that sort of stuff. You heard about Mo Blackwell, but I think you heard more about David Benda. So, the fact that Blackwell, I don't think he's where he needs to be weight-wise yet. I think he came out around 205, 208, something like that out of summer workouts. But, it sounds like he's headed in the right direction. I said in my piece talking about David Benda today, he continue to hear positive things about the direction of his game. TFB did something today talking about how some of the player representatives at Big 12 Media Days were saying that he hit another gear in his preparation and workouts this offseason. Workout-wise, I don't think he had much to prove, but preparation, that's a good sign. I think for Benda, you just got to be able to contest space and hold your own in pass coverage better, be able to diagnose route concepts better. For Blackwell, I think the ceiling's higher on him, but is he ready yet to be that starter after converting down from safety last offseason? I think that's the question.
And don't forget the elephant in the room, Anthony Hill. The thing is, certainly players have emerged late in their careers. So I had said, and I had been on record a few months ago saying, if Benda hasn't done it in the last couple of years, it's just not going to happen. Okay, well, I'm prepared to say I was wrong on that. But one of the things I'm going to wonder is, like, is Benda just going to be able just to hold his own, or is he going to be a difference maker? Because if Blackwell, I think the difference between Blackwell and Benda is this. I could see Benda basically doing what he's supposed to do, but not doing anything that's really going to overly affect the outcome. Where Blackwell, I could see being a difference maker and like being a playmaker. He like has ways of just getting to the ball and finding the ball. And obviously, Anthony Hill, enough said. So that's what leads me to think it'll be Benda, because the deciding factor there is Benda's got more size, so that gives him the leg up. But Anthony Hill also is still bigger than both. So ultimately, this is going to come down to fall camp. But I think, but Benda and Blackwell are certainly showing that Hill's not just going to be given the job, and also Hill has a lot to learn. If Hill's the starter, expect some growing pains.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Because
But at this point, I think this is actually what's going to happen. I think Benda, if I had to put a bet, and I don't like betting, Benda gets the start, but Hill plays so much that you don't really notice it.
Okay.
That Hill's not this. Hill will be a utility player. Be on the edge sometimes, be in the middle sometimes, maybe have his hand in the dirt sometimes. Who knows?
Do you? I'll put it this way. I guess in terms of just like at least doing your job to a decent degree, do you think that a good bar for the expectation at will linebacker this year, again, different role, but similar to what you wanted out of DTD last season, where it was just like you just want him
something
to
like that,
things up? Okay, I think that's a fair way to look at it. Yeah, right now I actually think that Blackwell's going to end up getting more snaps throughout the season. I think Benda's probably going to be the week 1 starter. I'd be interested to see too if they try out Burrell there more and maybe garbage time looks or whatever that be as the season moves along, because I think they're going to want him to challenge there next year. You got anything else on will linebacker? Okay.
Nope.
Well, I think the most fun position battle on the defense to talk about is going to be a field corner. That's the last one we have up here. I think it's pretty straightforward who's going to challenge for the reps there. It's Terrence Brooks, Manny Muhammad, and Gavin Holmes. Those 3.
Gavin Holmes is the fastest guy. Muhammad's the best technician. Brooks is the best blend.
Who do you think's the highest upside of the bunch? Like
Muhammad,
even this fall? You think even more so than Brooks?
I think Brooks is really more of a safety or a star myself.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't think Brooks is going to play corner in the NFL.
Neither do I. I don't think he's fast.
Now he has corner traits, but I don't know if he has quite the speed you want at a corner in the NFL.
Yeah, that's kind of
what like his ability to break on the ball is really good and react. But I think he's got like the perfect body to be a star.
Yeah. So who are you picking right now to be the week 1 starter at field corner? It's a tough question.
That's such a good question.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders, like, do they move, like, here's a question I would have, and we'd never get an answer to this, is how wedded are they to having Jaron Thompson as a starter? Because if you could move Watts to safety, Watts and Catalan, and then you could play Muhammad or Brooks at the other 2 corners, or you could move Jahdae Barron to corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then move Brooks to star or something, or Gilbo to star, whatever. Ultimately, I think it's going to come down to this. The best 5 players are going to be the DBs. Someone's going to be moved around somewhere we're not thinking about. Because you can't, especially in the Big 12, you can't leave like really good defensive back talent on the sideline.
It's true. And I think they're very wed to the idea of Jahdae Barron at star. I think there's a lot that you can do with him that can help. I guess I'll take a step back. This is a pretty inexperienced linebacker group outside of Jalen Ford. And so I think that there's a lot you can do to cover up any of the inefficiencies from a guy like Benda, Blackwell, Hill in pass coverage with Barron, sliding down to the box pre-snap. But I'm going to go Terrence Brooks as the week 1 starter. I agree with a lot of the points you make where you got to cross-train a lot of these guys, and there could be some movement this fall. But I think Brooks is – I look at it like I did Deshaun Jameson last year where, Deshaun Jameson was the week 1 starter and took most of the starting reps, but then they started to transition more to Terrence Brooks. I think you're going to see that where Gavin Holmes is getting a lot of reps. Malik Muhammad is ultimately the guy you want starting at field corner, but then I think Brooks is the easy solution for week 1. So that's where I'm going there. I think we lost Tarik on the other screen there. But yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap up here because I think that kind of cuts to the chase. We'll end up doing with Shane, Tarik, and I. Oh, got Tarik back. Tarik, I don't know if you heard me there.
I did. You said you think Brooks is the week 1 starter.
Yeah, I think you're looking at a trajectory similar to Deshaun Jameson last year, where Brooks started to get more of the reps as the season moved along. Late season he was the starter more often than Jameson, but that's the direction I'm going. Do you have any other thoughts on?
I'm just gonna say this. I'm not gonna be shocked if Muhammad wins it.
Yeah, that's true.
There were some things he was doing in the spring game. I was and I just said to myself, you see, folks, that's exactly why Nick Saban really wanted this guy.
Absolutely, and I think he's been probably on the fastest upward trend of any.
And I'll say this too: if he was not from Dallas, I don't think he goes to Texas. I think if this is if he's from California or Florida, I think Saban wins that. I think the fact that he was from Texas, that helped a lot.
Yeah, being close to his siblings and his mom still was a big deal to him. I do know that. But yeah, do you have anything else on any of the positions in general?
No, I think we can wrap it up. I think one of the good things about this fall camp is that we know a lot of what we need to know already, so it's now just the finer details. But here's one you haven't talked about. Isaiah Nayer coming back. I think he's going to throw a wrench in there somewhere.
Braces off, man. He's looking good.
There's, yeah. I know people say I'm crazy, but if you put Isaiah Nayer in the slot, holy crap.
He could do some serious damage down the seams, kind of a JT Sanders sort of thing.
Oh man, it would be. Some linebackers would be very upset.
I think we're gonna see. I saw Paul Wadlington did an article talking about how the offense is going to transition more to 11 personnel, which I think was just natural anyway with Bijan and Roschon headed to the NFL. But I think
and it's better for Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, well, and you have so many things you could do with JT Sanders at tight end and then your top 4 receivers out wide. So I would agree. I think there's a lot you could do there. But yeah,
he's my X factor. Don't sleep on that guy.
No, it's crazy to have both him and AD Mitchell on the boundary. I think that, or just in this wide receiver room in general, man, there's so much you could do with that. It's going to be a great wide receiver core. But yeah,
that's all I got.
Yeah, wrap it up. We'll have a lot of content coming up the next few weeks. Again, fall camp starting August 2nd, so stay tuned. Plenty of recruiting stuff as well. Corey and Gibson's decision tomorrow, so that goes Texas way. I'll have a breakdown on that. But anyway, for Tarik LaCour, Andrew Miller from lookupheadlines.com, that's pretty much it.
Welcome.